we have a fantastic new oil change kit that we're gonna get installed for you today. It also includes a little hydraulic kit action. So a little 2-for-1, oil change and hydraulic on the Takeuchi TL6. This is the little guy. This is the little guy that'll squeeze between those tight job sites where you don't need a lot of heavy lifting. Dan's gonna provide a lot of tips and tricks throughout this oil change and hydraulic change. You can pick up this kit at shop.equipmentshare.com. Check out all of the oil change kits and hydraulic kits for all the Takeuchi lineup, especially for the TL6. Go ahead and scrub along on the bottom, go to the section that you want to jump to, or just want to watch the whole thing through and through. Watch me, screw up and watch him be a pro, because that's what he is. So enjoy, let's get going. Ready to get dirty?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. All right, first things first, battery.
There it is.
This is a newer unit, so no dirt in here, but you would typically find maybe a lot of dirt or mud.
Yeah, you'll find it all stuck inside here. So as soon as you open this little compartment, you might have some just flying out of here.
So what are we looking for in here?
So in here is pretty much just a battery compartment. You can see the negative battery cable, which is really easy to access. Pull off this cover, get a 12mm, loosen up the nut, and you disconnect the battery. So just in case when you're in the middle of your service, someone doesn't jump in or turn it on or something. So, safety first.
So you're putting the bolts in. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a little trick that I've learned over the years, so you don't lose bolts. So put it back in the spot. So in case you, say you put it down on the floor and accidentally kick it, one goes flying off, oh, you just lost the bolt. So what I spotted off the bat is a little different from the other ones. Is the fuel filters right here. I'm guessing the oil filter is down there. Yeah, it's about the same spot. Very important tool. It's a very simple tool. It's for your when you drain the oil. Because when you take off a regular bolt, it's just kind of shooting out of nowhere. This insert, tighten. It's gonna press that valve, start draining.
This looks low under here, Dan.
Yeah, this TL6 is actually lower than most. It's a very compact size. Be careful with a little thing, it will fall on you if you're right under it. And let me give a visual real quick. Very easy. Just spin off the cap. You might see it, see? It's threaded, so these threads match the one on the little drain tube that we have here.
We've come across an important tip. What is that?
So these are both the drain tubes, but you can tell this is a slightly smaller one than this one. We tried putting in the normal one, and I noticed it wasn't going in, wasn't threading in. And we caught on very quickly that there's actually a smaller one. So pay attention to that, because I was scratching my head right now.
Now life's gonna get easier.
Yes, it will. You should be able to see the flow coming out pretty soon. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that.
Is that 19?
Yep, 19mm.
That radiator looks like it's tough to stay open. I think they made a little pin, right?
Yeah, you get a little U-bolt type pin. You pull the pin from the bottom side, pull this out, and then swing out the radiator.
There's so many hoses just putting a lot of tension on that thing.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful when you pull it away. Make sure it's not grabbing on something. It should be kind of a little loose, a little free. So I realized when we were already draining it, but if you pull back this radiator, there's actually a good amount of space where you could probably just insert that drain tube right from the top.
The patented towel laying maneuver.
Oh yeah, like I always say, capture as much oil as you can to make the least amount of mess.
There you go. Smaller machine, everything's a little tighter, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so you gotta make sure you got just enough room to undo filters or bolts or anything. It shouldn't be impossible. Apply some oil to the gasket, just like we've done in our previous videos. You don't want that gasket to mess up when you're installing it. or you're gonna have a bad time. Make sure it's the correct size. Yep, okay, cool. It's upside down, so I think we do it this way.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey?
Yes, sir.
I always get that confused when orientation changes.
Oh, especially on upside down?
Yeah.
I mess up all the time.
Yeah.
When you dry install these, you might have trouble turning it on. So what you can do is you can put fresh new diesel in here.
Hand tight?
Hand tight once the gasket touches, and then give it a half a turn. So you can do a quarter turn and do one more quarter turn. And that should be more than enough.
Nice. Look at that air filter. So clean.
No dust.
So you got 2 air filters, right?
Yeah, so one's the outer,
Yep.
which is kind of like the first line of defense, and then the inner one.
Okay, time for the new ones.
Put the new ones in.
Cool. It's like a 2-stage kind of filter thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the filters. Oh, this one has one, but most of them have like a 2-stage. Make sure to press it in there, or you'll have a difficult time putting on the cap back on. The hydraulic tank. So it's held on by this bolt right here.
It's a 13.
13. Now this gives you access to the hydraulic tank.
Ooh, don't lose it down there.
Presto.
What are we looking at?
And when I take off the last bolt, you know, it's a spring. This spring keeps down that filter. I'm gonna pull out the filter. Might be a little tough. This is the top part of the filter. There's gonna be oil on top of here, so be careful. Just turn it around, drain it back in. Grab my rag. We can set this out the way. Grab another rag. We're gonna pull out the actual filter. Now be careful, this filter has a lot of oil on it. Now we're putting in the new one in. Slowly pull it in there. As the oil fills the filter up, you just slightly drop it in there. There's like a little groove on the bottom part. So when you put this filter in, you kind of got to wiggle the filter around until it seats in. You'll know it seats in because it won't move loosely inside the tank. See how it's almost perfectly in with this circle? Give a little wiggle and it'll seat in. So that's perfect right there. Bring the spring back in. So this spring sits on top of this little cap part right here. There's a little lip. It'll sit inside this spring. Once you place it in, you give a little spin, got it in.
And the final part.
Putting on the cap. You can just center it and then,
Ooh, gotta be careful though. It's spring loaded and
yep.
you don't want to lose a bolt and washers down the hole.
If not, you're gonna go fishing for it.
Yeah.
So, remember, just like the other ones, the safety pin, pull this out, let the cab sit back in, and then put the safety pin back in. Just ensure you won't crush yourself when you're under the cab.
Safety first. Safety's no accident.
There you go. When we pull up the cab, we found that there's actually a little canister on the underside where the other filter goes.
The other hydraulic filter?
Yes.
This is new for us.
This is new for us. So it's a little different, but it's actually pretty easy. Right under the cab.
It's a 27?
It's a 27 millimeter.
Look at that. That's not easy.
That's awkward for me because I'm a big guy. So I've noticed there's gonna be a lot of hoses and stuff in your way. So probably the best way to do this is when you pull this out, I think you want to pull out the filter as well. So you're not fighting the whole thing.
Oh, that's a good tip.
I'm putting in the new one. So it's gonna be a little tricky putting this in. Same way we took it out. Just keep it in the canister, lay it down, put in the filter first, make sure it seats in correctly, and then you could put on the cap. When you tighten this, make sure to see how it wobbles a little bit. I would say put a hand right here just to hold it, minimize the wobbling, give it tight, tighten up. It doesn't require much to tighten up, so don't go overboard on it.
So I think that concludes inside the compartment.
Yes, we change our only filter that's under the cab. We review everything in there.
Yep.
This being a new machine, there's not much to it, but it's always good to check no matter what, whether it be 10 hours or 10,000 hours. Just give a good look around hoses, fittings, any damage. It's always good just to look, you know? Now to bring our cab down, we gotta remove the safety pin. Pull it back. And now we go to the front and pull it down.
All right, as we're starting to button things up, it's time to get the drain tube off. And we noticed on the 6, what do you see?
There's actually ample space here. It's right here, so you can just reach out when you have the radiator swung out, start untwisting, and it's easy access.
I get to help finally. Yeah.
Thank you. Don't forget, low clearance means I need a shorter socket.
All right, time to button her back up.
Now we got our filters changed, our drain tube out of the way, just like we've done previously. Check everything else since you're here. Same thing, belts, make sure they're not cracked, loose, hoses, any fittings that are any fasteners that are loose, you know, just a quick check over. All right, I think we're good.
So always use the owner's manual, right? Find out the
Yes.
exact amount, make your life easier.
Yes, because each of these have a different motor.
All right, dipstick check.
Dipstick check. Remember, first pull, always clean. Make sure to don't lose your safety pin. You don't want to do it too tight, but just enough where it doesn't wiggle around.
Okay, what you doing?
Just looking at the screen to make sure everything's okay. Power's on after we switch the battery. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crank it. Remember to always crank in intervals, not a long one, because that starter can get really hot.
Hey.
There we go. Oh, still air in the system. Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. So as you can see, there's no engine oil pressure alert. We're good. It's in the warm-up stage now. So we're gonna let it warm up a little bit, and then we'll use the machine to make sure everything went well.
The oil change went well.
Oh, very simple, very straightforward.
Yeah. Daniel's tried and true tip is...
Oh, never forget to put the oil.
Yes.
Very simple, but sometimes it's overlooked.
Right. And lots of rags.
Lots of rags.
Lots of rags as always. Another one completed. Go to shop.equipmentshare.com. Check out the entire line of everything we have to offer for your Takeuchi. If you have got a TL6R, It's in there on the website. And make sure you like and subscribe for all the upcoming videos that we're gonna have to offer on all different types of machines, not just the Takeuchis. We got a lot coming. So like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. Make it social, enjoy the videos. We hope you enjoyed it, right?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
He always does. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for watching. Peace.